What's the point of having this many books if you're not going to use them as a tripod, right? It's day 8 of NaNoWriMo, and I got in about 300 words today. I was really distracted because Jemmy and I were watching Phineas and Ferb, and rewatching it now, I don't think I realized a lot of the jokes when I was a lot younger. Yeah, there are definitely jokes now that I got that I didn't understand at all and didn't think twice about when I was a child watching it for the first time. But I mostly spent the day editing last week's vlog. It just took a really long time to render for some reason. But it's up now, and I just really want to go to bed. Not much happened today in terms of writing. I wrote the beginning of a scene where my main character's ex-fiance is going to come up to her and he's going to be drunk, and yeah, it's going to be a moment that actually pushes her a little closer to her new love interest, so that's kind of fun. And I've never written a drunk person before, so this will be an interesting time. Been around drunk people, but I've never written one before. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun just writing that interaction and getting to play with the things drunk people do because they're drunk. So that is my little update for now. I will talk about everything a little more in the morning once I have actually done a little more writing. I did also print out my NaNoWriMo trackers. As I just learned today, I guess it didn't click. I knew this was a thing, but it didn't click in my head. I'm from a land where we print in A4 size. America prints in US size, and so when I was formatting my trackers, I created them for A4, not for US letter size, so I might have to reprint those tomorrow. We'll see. And it's just a little cut off at the edges. It's not a huge deal, honestly. It just cuts off a couple things. Like, it doesn't actually affect the tracker itself. It just looks a little weird, so I might reprint that tomorrow. But why the US doesn't just go with A4, I don't understand, because A4 is the superior paper size. You know what? Fine, America wants to be different. We'll just add this to the list of things about America I don't understand, like Fahrenheit.
What's up, potty people? Who's ready to get some writing done? Let's do it.
So as you can see, I already did some writing for this morning. I decided to start off with one of Cam's live streams because live streams worked for me last time, so I figured they'd work for me this time, and it did. I got in about 1,300 words during the whole live stream, which is pretty good. I don't think it's as good as what I did previously, but those sprints were also a little longer than what Cam did, so all in all, 1,300 words isn't bad. I only need 600 more words to hit my goal for the day to keep me on track. But what I think I want to do is I want to try my best to break 10K today. I am currently at about, I think, 8,000-ish words. Ooh, dog! Larry! Oh, Larry!
He's so cute!
It's so rare that I see him without his Messiah shirt on.
I know, I miss him so much.
Oh,
He's my baby. He loved me secret.
okay, so yes, I forgot what I was saying. I think I was saying that I had about 8,000 words so far, and hold on, let me just pull up NaNoWriMo. Okay, so I'm at 8,422 words so far. That's only 1,500 words away from 10,000, which is perfectly doable. I could do about 1,500 words straight through in 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I think that's what I'm gonna do because I really want to get a little more on track. Hitting 10K will still put me 5,000 words behind, but 5,000 is better than 7,000, so it's, yeah, I think that is something I could easily do because this is a fun part of the story, and this wasn't something I thought about previously, but it occurred to me that several characters in the story use bad language. My main character's ex-fiance literally one of the first things he does in front of her is swear. And then he calls her a bitch, and then he drops the F-bomb. And it didn't occur to me that that would be the case, and that's the kind of person he would be, but it's making sense now that I think about it. That is the kind of person he is, at least, well, when he's drunk, that's the kind of person he is. So that was an interesting thing to do. I've never really written explicit swearing into anything I've written before. I've read it definitely in other books, and I've heard it plenty, but I've never written it, so this is a new thing for me. It's interesting for me. Anyways, you can probably see from behind me that I printed out my calendars. So I did actually end up motorcycles outside. I did end up reworking this and reformatting it to make it fit a US letter size piece of paper because America prints in US letter size, which is stupid. I will show you what these look like a little more close up. I actually have 3 things printed out, but I decided to put one of them in front of my laptop, and instead of putting my trackers there because I don't want to pressure myself, I put my goals there, which are a little more relaxed and they're not like super like high pressure kind of thing. So I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so above my laptop we have this goals page. It basically just has things that I want to achieve during NaNoWriMo, which is to write every day, to have my writing vlog up every Sunday, and like all the vlogs that I need to get up. So I can actually check some of these off because obviously I didn't print these out at the beginning of NaNoWriMo, so I can check some of these off. And then we have these 2 trackers that are here underneath my certificates. I decided to make these on my own this time. I usually have someone on the NaNoWriMo forums make them for me, but I just wanted to make one on my own this time. So this is what I have for a more daily tracker, like a more detailed daily tracker. Each of the little boxes is 2,500 words. So when I color all of that in, that means I've hit 1,667 words. But obviously now, because I'm behind, I should be writing that, at least I should be hitting that every day to keep on track. But I'm not, and it's fine. I'm just going to color those in. And then here we have something similar. It just has a line. So what I write on the top is the number of words I wrote that day, and then at the bottom I put my word count for where I am at that point. It's kind of similar to this one, but I like having this because it gives me a faster look at what my daily stats are. So yeah. Okay, so in case you were wondering, this is what the trackers look like filled in. I did flip these 2 because I realized my desk is like right here, so it's kind of hard for me to color and write everything while I'm leaning over my desk. So I'm gonna zoom in. So that's what each day looks like. I wasn't sure about how the gold pen would show up on camera, but it looks like it's showing up well. So that's how this works. And then over here, it looks a little different. So I have more specific stats on how many words I wrote and then what that total is. I know it's a little weird to have 2 different kinds of trackers basically doing the same thing, but it works really well for me because I like being able to see my stats, even if it's the same stats, in a multitude of different ways, which is also why I track all my reading in like 5 different ways. And for me especially, being able to fill something in is really helpful. I'm a very goal-oriented person, so I like being able to check stuff off. So having the tiny little boxes to color in is really helpful. And in case you're wondering, I'm using the Faber-Castell Artist Pen in gold to color in my small squares of 250 words a day, and then I just bought this gold pen off Amazon that I'm using to write my numbers, and I like them both. They show up really nicely. And yeah, I just thought I'd show you what the trackers look like once I've actually filled them in with a little bit of information. and the sweater on. Okay, at this point I feel like I should just tell you guys. I'm wearing PJs, like, I'm not going out anywhere, so again, don't have to change into my PJs. Anyways, I have written about 1,000 words so far today. It was a little slow going. The scene I was writing was just a little, I don't know, I felt like it was hard to connect with what I wanted to happen versus like what was coming out of my fingertips. So it was a little hard to get into it, but I am going to take a break from that. I've had lunch with Jemmy and I'm going to work on a blog post that I actually forgot I needed to work on because I need something to go up tomorrow. So my goal is to get the whole blog post done because Kate Kavanaugh is doing another writing live stream on her Twitch channel at 3 and currently it's 12:41. So if I spend about 2 hours on a blog post, which is roughly how long I think it'll take, it's not a very complicated blog post, so it shouldn't take me more than 2 hours. Hopefully once I'm done with that, it'll be around the same time the Twitch stream is starting, and then I just want to like do it live with a bunch of people because it's a lot of fun, and I think these live streams really are going to be the way that I get through NaNoWriMo this year because, I don't know, the Twitter sprints just, I guess they're not working for me, or like I have no desire to try them. Maybe I will and just see how I feel about it. It just, I don't know, I feel like it's not the same. And setting a timer for myself doesn't feel the same either. I actually kind of like having the chit chat in between the writing sprints because it's just nice to hear how other people are doing, what other people are experiencing with their stories, and like if there are any, and also like to know that there are other people who are behind in their word count because I am still only at, I think I just broke 11,000 this morning. Today's word count goal is 16,667, I think. I have the little graphic here, like I don't need to be guessing this, I have the graphic that has all the information. But yeah, so like I would like to write 3,000 words today, write 3,000 words tomorrow until I'm on track. Like it would be really nice to just keep writing 3,000 words until I'm on track, and maybe once I'm on track write another 3,000 words so I'm a little ahead. Just because with NaNoWriMo you never really know how your writing is going to go, but also this requires me outlining a little bit more. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, I had a breakthrough in the middle of my writing session this morning because I was writing the scene in the hospital and like a conversation my main character was having. And a conversation my main character was having with a doctor who worked at the hospital about an experimental treatment program, and they were talking about how science isn't advanced enough to achieve what they want to achieve, and my main character was saying that science is advanced enough and that like us as people were just not smart enough to get to where science is. And while I was writing that scene, it occurred to me that an experimental treatment is kind of something that her love interest was involved in the past, and everything clicked together. So I had a little bit of a breakthrough of something that I needed to happen with something I had already planned. I know I'm being really vague and confusing, but like I don't want to spoil anything, and also I haven't figured out exactly how things connect yet, but I talked it out with Jemmy and it like makes a little more sense. And I do need to do research on how exactly this works, but that can happen after I finish drafting this because the idea I have is based on actual science. So I need to go and understand how the science works in order to make it make sense in the future. So yeah, that's something that I came up with that I was really excited about because I like having these breakthroughs. I like having these moments where I actually understand what I'm trying to get at and realizing that I made more connections than I thought I did, or that I've laid the groundwork for things to come together in ways I didn't realize because my brain just hadn't consciously come to that conclusion yet. Subconsciously it probably had, but consciously hadn't made the connection yet. So that's something like just really fun, and I enjoyed that. So I'm gonna go give myself that NaNoWriMo badge, and then I'm gonna go work on a blog post, and I will clue you guys in when I start with the live stream on Kate Kavanaugh's Twitch.
But I was actually thinking this time we would do these square sprints as we vaguely joked about it last time when I got the numbers, the prime number drop. So we're gonna do a 9, we'll do a 16.
I hope you guys appreciate that I'm not wearing my pajamas. Actually, I switched out of my PJs because I needed something with longer sleeves. The vent in my room blows directly at my hands when I'm typing, meaning I get really cold fingers, and I keep the vent on because otherwise my room gets really stuffy and the fan just doesn't do the same thing. So all that to say, I changed. I appreciate the fact that I got dressed in something else today. There's about 15 minutes before Kate's live stream today, and I'm going to be joining that. I'm going to try to do the full 2 hours, maybe with a short break in between for food. I don't really know. I have a lot of like writing snacks with me today. I have applesauce because Jemmy and I made applesauce last night. I have a whole avocado because it magically ripened overnight when it was perfectly unripe yesterday, so I need to eat that. And then I have my Yeti, which has honey in it because it's rainy outside and I want honey. So basically this is me tuning in to tell you that yesterday went really well writing wise. I got 3,070 words, which is the most I've written so far in a single day in NaNoWriMo. And I had a really rough time with transitions and dialogue yesterday, but it's there. And at least this means I can move past those two really awkward chapters and get into something a little more exciting. I am getting close to running out of where my outline is, so I might have to outline a little bit in the next couple of days. Thankfully, I've set up my document in a way where like me writing in my outline doesn't count towards my total word count, which is a good thing because I'm not trying to get it to count towards a total word count. I'm only trying to get the story itself to count because personally, I think it's cheating. I mean, like, I'm old-fashioned Rimo, so I think it's cheating. Other people might not, but I do. So I just want to focus on the 50,000 words being part of the story. The writing live streams have really, really been helpful. Yesterday I watched Kate's old live stream from the day before and then her live stream yesterday, so I tuned in to two, and those really helped me get words done. And like I said, I'm going to tune into her live stream on Twitch again today because just having those people, having that community around me is really nice, and I like being able to talk to other people about my writing and everything else that I'm experiencing. Like yesterday during the stream, I mentioned that I wrote a sentence and like moved on and then realized I had already written that sentence earlier in the paragraph and had to go and delete the sentence I wrote again. So things like that, like other writers can relate to, that I'm just enjoying being able to talk to people about. And also the writing sprints just help keep me on track. And so it's been nice to discover that this really works for me, and that it's also really motivating for me because everything else wasn't really doing it. And just, ooh, my camera's starting to drop. Yeah, everything else wasn't really working for me, and just having people who understand what it's like to do NaNoWriMo, people who understand what it's like to struggle through these words, it's nice to have that kind of community. Also, honestly, I don't think I'd be able to get through this without my NaNoWriMo playlist because that also helps keep me on track and keep me from getting distracted by other things. Just blasting my movie scores really helps. I'll link my playlist in the description down below, so if you guys want to follow it, you can check it out. And yeah, it's basically just like movie and TV show scores that I really like. I think I mentioned this in last week's vlog at the beginning of NaNoWriMo that I always start to the same music. I always start to the first song off the first Hobbit movie soundtrack because I think it's called My Dear Frodo, and it's the beginning of him getting introduced to this adventure, and the beginning of each novel is getting introduced to the character who's about to go on an adventure. So I like having music that is also symbolic of that journey that my characters are going to go on. So that's a lot of fun for me to do. And I'm going to eat a little more of my applesauce and some of my avocado before the live stream starts, and probably be snacking on that during the live stream too. I might do another like writing montage for you guys. We'll see. And yeah, that's just kind of how yesterday went and how today's going so far, and I thought it would be nice to give you guys a little update.
Ah, I see now. Taylor says she's not responsible for habits if they listen. Big difference. Leo's here. Missy fish, I've fallen behind trying to catch up. Same. Still trying to catch up. I haven't calculated where I've been at, and I think that's a good thing. I've been kind of like holding off on calculating things because I don't really want to know the answer. But I will have to do it soon.
don't know if you guys can actually hear my shoulder popping. My shoulder just popped. It's after the live stream right now, and I got about, I think I got 17.99 in terms of words. I totally meant to film something for you guys while I was writing, to like film one of the sprints, and I kept forgetting. I'm here in my room with more food because I have lunch. I have some of the spicy Korean jjajangmyeon noodles, which jjajangmyeon is actually not Korean, but it's one of their flavors. It's like the least spicy flavor of it all. So I'm going to eat that. I'm going to watch a little bit of Teen Wolf, and yeah, I have gotten off to a really good start with about 1,800 words in maybe an hour's worth of sprints-ish. So I think after this, I know that Cam did a live stream yesterday that I didn't know about because I guess I don't follow him on, I don't know where he announced it, either on Twitter or his Instagram. I'm gonna have to go look for that to see where he announces his live streams. Or, you know, it actually could have been, no, it should have been, I'm not entirely sure when he streamed it, but he has a stream from yesterday, and so I might put that on and do another sprint in the afternoon once I'm done with lunch and watching Teen Wolf. But yeah, I think just consuming a little bit of fiction for myself will help me write better, because last night I read a few pages of The Raven Boys, and today I wrote significantly better than I did yesterday. So maybe this has to do with me consuming fiction and that makes my writing better. Maybe. I mean, that sounds like it's a real thing to me, so I'm gonna keep doing that and see if it helps me with my writing, and hopefully just doesn't make it worse. But I'm gonna go eat and watch Teen Wolf, and that's my little writing update for now. Hoping I'm not going to drop the camera on my face, because that would be bad for a lot of reasons. Pretty sure it'd take more money to fix the camera than it would my face. But I'm really tired after finishing my second live stream of the day. Sorry, this is like a weird angle. I watched Cam's live stream, and it was about 2 hours and 15 minutes long. We only ended up sprinting for an hour, which is fine, but I got another 1,800 words in, which is pretty good. And I only have 350-ish words before I hit my goal of 4,000 for today. So I'm just taking a break before I actually try and get the last of my words in to hit 4,000. All I've done today is write. I haven't done anything else. I need to actually upload a video that was supposed to go up yesterday, and I forgot about it until I went to bed last night, which is not super important. I think my reading vlogs are going to change, and it's not a big deal. I just need to figure out how exactly I'm going to do it for the rest of the month, and I think I'm just going to combine everything into one vlog for the rest of the month, because I highly doubt I'll be reading anything else. So if anyone who watches my reading vlogs is watching this, that's your little update. I'm so tired. My brain is just like so tired after that live stream. It was a really good writing session though, because I ended up getting in some pretty crucial scenes and adding some stuff that I didn't know I wanted to or needed to add. But turns out I really like writing drunk or tipsy people because they're just really funny to me. And I tweeted something about this. By the way, I have like a Twitter thread of stuff that I like think about and talk about as I write each day, or most days. If you look up hashtag Project Bodyguard on Twitter, it should pop up, and I will link my Twitter somewhere here as well. But yeah, so I enjoy having adult characters to write about because it gives me a wider variety of things to talk about. Like in one of the conversations my main character was having, she was talking with her friends about how she hasn't dated anyone since she broke up with her ex-fiance, and her friends are trying to tell her to go out and like have fun and hook up with people because they're young, and they just ended up having a whole conversation about what that's like. And my main character is at an engagement party where some of the gifts are definitely more adult things that you would give someone. And yeah, it's fun to have that freedom to write stuff like that, because I definitely didn't have that when I was writing YA characters. And I don't know, I might like this whole age group of older characters now, because as I'm older, it's easier for me to write stuff that I know people talk about, for one, and it just feels more natural. I don't know. I don't even know if that's making any sense, but I'm going to end this clip before I end up dropping this camera on my face, because I'm really worried I'm going to do that. I totally meant to film another clip for you guys after I was a little more recovered mentally to hit my last 400 words for the day, but I did it. I hit my 400 words for the day. It felt really good to write 4,000 words today. It's the most I've written all of NaNoWriMo so far. So, with that being said, obviously, as you can tell by the little tracker I don't remember which side I put it on. As you can see from the tracker, I'm not that far behind. Once it hits midnight, in 16 minutes, I will be 3,000 words behind. Considering how much I've written every day so far this week, I think I can get back on track by tomorrow. Kate's live streaming again at 10:30, and I think, fingers crossed, I can get at least 16 to 1800 words done during that stream, and then maybe I'll pull up a different stream. Maybe I'll try one of Brooke's streams over at By the Brook. I think I can get back on track, which will be great, because I really want to be on track, and then I can start trying to pull ahead, because that will be even better considering that Thanksgiving is coming up fairly soon. Jemmy's parents are coming in on the 18th, and I should try to get ahead a little bit just so I can, be around people and not have to stress about my word count. So really, really love to just pull ahead even just a little bit, like 1,000 or 2,000 words. That would be great. I don't know how much I'm gonna write this weekend. I'm not sure how much I'm planning to write this weekend. I need to do a little more outlining, so that might be what I save part of my weekend for. I will still need to be writing, but maybe I can lower it to 2,000 words a day, which is totally doable. So yeah, that's kind of my update right now. And for fun, today I ended up writing a mock acknowledgements for whatever book I ended up publishing first, because a friend and I were having a conversation about this, and we've been joking for the past year or so that eventually he's going to see me as the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic at some point. I don't remember why we specifically chose The Atlantic. I think it's because he talked to someone there or met someone who worked at The Atlantic, and he's just gotten it in his head that one of these days he's going to see me as editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, and he told me not to forget it when I'm all big and famous, which, I mean, I highly doubt that I'm ever going to be big and famous, but I wrote a mock acknowledgement so that if I become famous as a writer, as a fiction author, before I become editor-in-chief of The Atlantic or any other thing, I would have a way to thank him. So I wrote that for fun because I just thought it would be really funny. And yeah, that was just kind of how my day went. So I'm gonna go to bed, gonna wake up tomorrow and try to do more sprints and get more words in, because 20K is so close and being on track is so close, and I'm just ready to be on track and not be behind anymore. I know this is kind of a weird angle. I just can't get my camera to sit in most places because my tripod's really bad. It's really cheap. I think I spent $12 on it. It's about 8-ish minutes before Kate's next live stream. Man, I feel ready to write today. I think I can definitely hit 20K today. That's going to be my goal. I'm currently at 17,133, so I only have a little over 2,000 words to write, which isn't going to be bad. I'm still going to aim for 3,000 words because that'll put me a little bit ahead, and I like being ahead. So I'm excited to get to this point where I'm feeling the story and I'm really getting into the rhythm of writing, and I think it's something I would like to continue into December. Depending. If Project Bodyguard is done by the end of NaNoWriMo, then I will probably choose to go with Project Ghost because that needs to be rewritten. And Kate's planning to do live streams, I think almost every weekday of December too, so I can at least tune into those. If not every single day, then most days, because just having that community with me to help me write has been really, really helpful. Also, I wanted to show you guys this thing I made in my writing journal. I don't know how clear it is on camera right now, but I have my sprints that I do when I watch live streams, and it just gives me an idea of how quickly I'm writing. So like yesterday for Cam's live stream that I watched after the fact, I wrote 504 words in 15 minutes and then 511 words in 20 minutes. But then for the final sprint, he told us to try and aim for 500 words or more for 25 minutes, and I wrote 839. So that made me feel really good about everything, just having a goal that I have to set, and also just to see how quickly I write, because I used to have this app on my phone. I actually don't remember why I deleted it, but I used to have this app on my phone that would calculate like how many words I wrote and how quickly I could write. It's something like that. I don't remember. I have to like find it again, because I think I would actually enjoy having that again on my phone. But that's my little update for now. I apologize for the lighting and everything. It's been rainy, which is really nice. I like having the rain in the background while I'm playing my music and having stuff to write to. But at the same time, it does mean I have to turn on my overhead light, which I really don't like because it's not very bright. So I don't know, maybe when I have a little more money, I will invest in a few more lamps, one of which will probably go on my table. And I don't know, I just need more light in this room because this guy up there, not working for me. So I'm gonna go. There's 5 more minutes before Kate's live stream, so I'm gonna read over what I wrote yesterday, or just at least make sure I know where I am from where I left off in my story yesterday. Save my document, because goodness knows I definitely need to do that, and then get ready for the live stream. And hopefully this time I will film something. I will film a writing sprint for you guys. Promise. Okay, we just finished sprinting and I went to NaNoWriMo to look at something, and this popped up. Like, can you guys see that? That says 30 words, minus 30 words per minute. I'm sorry, minus 30 words? Why do I feel like that's not right and that's not a thing? Okay, so, firstly, I can't believe I actually filmed that clip, and secondly, after I filmed that, I, for a second, thought I deleted an entire chapter with Pikachu's hands and his butt. Thank goodness I didn't. He managed to open a new document by himself, and I think it would be very fitting if I read you guys what Pikachu wrote. Okay, so there's only 8 words in this document that Pikachu wrote, and it is I can't read the rest of this. Oh, he managed to get a couple of numbers in there too. Am I losing it? Maybe just a little. morning. It's day 13 of NaNoWriMo, and I'm ready to just do some writing. The morning got off to a little bit of a rough start for me, personal life-wise, and I'm just ready to write and not have to think about my life, but think about what's going on in my characters' lives instead. I'm slowly running out of outline. I think I have 3 more chapters of an outline and like a sentence in another chapter, so I will have to do some of that over the weekend, maybe later today if I can bring myself to actually do that. Kate's live stream starts in about 6 minutes. I don't know if I ever mentioned yesterday that I got on track, that I hit 20,000, so I'm officially on track. I'm actually a few words ahead, so I am hoping that this stream will allow me to hit about 1,600 if not 1,700 words, and that'll be my kind of just word count for the day in terms of being on track with NaNoWriMo. But I would like to maybe hit 2,000 words today, write 2,000 words today. I'm not exactly sure what I'm aiming to do. It just feels nice to be on track. So if I didn't say that yesterday, sorry, I kind of forgot to. I did announce it on my Twitter, and I'm pretty sure, I think I mentioned something on my Instagram too. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that's just kind of where I am right now. 2020 has been rough, man. 2020 has been rough, and that's all I'm gonna say about things right now. I'm just ready to throw myself into a fictional world, because at least the drama that's happening in my characters' lives is more understandable than what's happening in my life, and I actually have a solution to the things that are happening in my characters' lives, and I know they'll make it out of it. So I'm gonna wait for her live stream to start and get to some writing. It's late. It's actually officially Saturday morning. Didn't really vlog today because I wasn't feeling it, and obviously after my clip this morning you could tell that I just wasn't necessarily in a great headspace. It's nothing bad. It's just I didn't really feel like pulling out the camera to record anything. I did get a bunch of words done. Hold on, let me go get my notebook. I got 1,800 words-ish during Kate's live stream in the morning, and then she did another live stream while she was a guest on Zara Hoffman's live stream in the evening, and I wasn't actually going to go to Zara's live stream, but then I realized tomorrow's Saturday, and I need to start editing this video on Saturday because I have more footage than I thought I did. I thought I had very few clips, but when I was importing everything the other day, I realized I have a lot more clips than I thought, and so it's probably going to take me at least 4 or 5 hours to edit. So because I need to start doing that, I had to pull ahead. So I went onto Zara's live stream, and she did 4 20-minute sprints and 1 half-hour sprint, which was fun. It was fine. The first few sprints, I didn't get a ton of words in. I got 259 the first 20 minutes, 144 the second 20 minutes, and then 0 words the third 20 minutes. I got distracted watching Phineas and Ferb with Jemmy because it was playing on the TV, and I, when I'm outside and I have my headphones on, I only put one side in so that if Jemmy talks to me, I can still hear it, mostly, usually, sometimes not. But I got distracted by Phineas and Ferb at times, and the 20 minutes is a whole episode of Phineas and Ferb, so sometimes I'd just be staring at the screen and be like, oh, right, yeah, I need to write and not be watching Phineas and Ferb. With the last sprint, I got 685 words, so that put me actually a day ahead of NaNoWriMo. So tomorrow I don't have to write as much because I have to do all this editing and really clean up my room and the living room and all that. So being ahead, pulling ahead, that's a nice thing about it, because then I don't have to worry about hitting my words tomorrow as much. I'm still gonna aim for 1,000-ish words tomorrow. I don't have to stress about getting that and not falling behind again, because I finally just officially caught up yesterday. So it'd be really bad if I just fell behind all over again. And yeah, that's my little update for you guys. I know today's content just wasn't as plentiful and not as exciting. Yeah, I just really didn't feel like showing you guys what I was up to. I mean, I wrote a ton. I wrote 3,000-ish words, something like that, but it just didn't feel, I just didn't particularly want to do all of that in front of the camera and kind of have to talk about what I was writing about. It was fine. I wrote a cute scene between my main character and her love interest, and I texted it to my friend Maggie, who was my roommate back in college, and also a really good friend that I do NaNoWriMo with a lot. And we just kind of talked a little bit about writing cute scenes between our characters and all that. So not much happened today aside from me writing. I mean, you did miss It would have been funny if I caught this on camera. I can go back to the Twitch stream and maybe find it where during one of the sprints, Kate accidentally reset the timer for the sprint. Like, I was listening to music because I just had it playing from my laptop, and then I hear laughing and I go over to the sprint and it's reset to, it was what, like 20 something minutes? It went from being like 13 to back to 20 something, and everyone just started panicking because it was really funny. But yeah, that happened. Hopefully if I can find that clip, I can insert it here, or it will have been inserted at this point while I've been talking. So yeah, that's my writing update for you guys today. Once I hit my word count, I rewarded myself with several episodes of Teen Wolf because I just kind of needed something a little different and I didn't feel like picking up my books, so I just continued on with my rewatch of Teen Wolf. Okay, so I've been editing for the past 3-ish hours. I actually don't know how long it's been since I started editing, but it's pretty late at night. It's about 10:30 and I haven't written my words yet for the day. So I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna pull up one of Brooke's live streams, just skip to all the sprints and write as much as I can before I go to bed because I'm feeling pretty tired from all the editing. So that's just a really quick update I wanted to give you guys because I have to wrap this up in the morning, but I still want to get at least some words down for the day. Probably won't be getting as much as I need, which is I think 1,500, but I think I could get probably 1,000, 1,200 pretty easily during a sprint. So I'm gonna go do that. I have my headphones in, so I am ready to start sprinting. Focus. I can't entirely see it in the viewfinder, but it's the end of week 2 of NaNoWriMo, and this week definitely was very different from last week. Obviously at the end of last week I was feeling a lot more frustrated with having been so far behind, and I had only just started getting back on track. I had had one good day of writing and everything else was more just like me trying to squeeze in words wherever I could. And this week was basically the complete opposite. I wrote a lot of words pretty much every single day except for yesterday, I think. I did end up squeezing in about 900 words last night. I didn't finish the sprints with Brooke because I just wasn't in the headspace where I could write. I was really tired from having spent 3 hours editing this video and only being halfway through and just having cleaned the apartment and everything. I have been productive, but it just wasn't writing wise, which is completely fine, and I'm still ahead, which is good. I am really close to today's word count goal, actually. I'm like 600-ish words away from breaking 25k, so that's going to be one of the things I want to do today. But I think last week was a really great way for me to kind of refocus where I was writing wise. I had rediscovered how writing sprints really worked for me and helped me stay encouraged and stay motivated to write. I think one of the reasons why I also struggled to get into a space where I wanted to write yesterday was because there were no live sprints. I pulled up one of Brooke's old sprints because that was the only thing that I could find, at least from people I knew, were helpful to me and encouraging me when it came to my writing. So it was one of those things where had there been a sprint, I probably would have done a little better and I probably would have written more. But 900 words, considering everything, is not a bad word count. I did it in about, I want to say a little over half an hour, maybe around 40 minutes, which is slower than my usual pace, but it's really not that bad. And the important thing is that I got words down because so far I have written every single day and I'm really proud of that. It might only be a little bit here and there, but I'm really proud of that. That's something I think was really different and really helpful for this week. I had a much better mindset about my writing and I was a lot more positive about the whole thing. And obviously being on track again, like getting all these words down, helped a ton. I brought out my little tracker so you can kind of see how many boxes I've colored in. And as I said before, each of the tiny little boxes represents 250 words. So when I've colored in all of them, that is the average of 1667 that you're supposed to write in order to hit the daily word count to be on track for the 50,000. Obviously, there were days where I wrote way more or way less, but even just having the visual representation motivated me so much because, like I said in an earlier clip, I'm a very visually goal-oriented person, so this was really helpful for me, and I liked being able to color in the squares. I liked being able to write down my word count each day. And that's also why I started just to track my word counts for each sprint that I was doing. I brought out my little writing journal and I started writing down the person I was sprinting with and the date and then like all the different times and how many words I got out of it. I apparently wrote the total for word sprints on the very first day and then just never continued with that. But having this is nice because I like being able to see how much I average per sprint, and it gives me an idea of, oh, if I only have this much time to write this day, how many words can I get done in that time? So it's really just another way for me to track my writing, which, as we've discovered, I like tracking my writing in a multitude of different ways. All in all, I would call this a really good week. I would love it if week 3 continued this way because that would be a really great thing and I would pull ahead quite a bit in NaNoWriMo. I do, like I said yesterday, need to write more of an outline. I think I said this last night in the clip, but I need to write more of an outline because I am basically caught up to where my outline stopped because I didn't have time to continue writing it. So I think that once I get this video and some writing done today, I do want to add to my outline a little bit. It's not going to count towards my final word count goal for NaNoWriMo, but is helpful for me to have something to have a visual map of what's going on because otherwise I actually really struggle to come up with story and to see where the story is headed. Even if I have it in my head, it doesn't come out quite the same way as me having a chapter by chapter few sentences to help me work through what's supposed to happen. So I know this was a really long video. Thank you if you stuck it out with me. I'm sorry it was so long, but I hope you enjoyed watching it. Let me know if you're doing NaNoWriMo this year, how you're doing, where your word count is, if you're behind, if you're ahead, if you've already won, if you're one of those crazy people. I have so much respect for you and I applaud you if you've already won. That's all I have for you guys and I will see you in the next video. Bye.